Welcome to the Legends in English, your place to get inspired, improve your English, and practice listening with real-life motivational stories. Today, we bring you the story of Bill Gates, a man who saw possibilities where others saw problems, a boy who turned curiosity into a global revolution. This is more than a biography. It is a journey of dreams, hard work, failures, and ultimate success. Listen carefully, feel the motivation, learn from his life, and let every word guide you to dream bigger, work smarter, and believe in yourself. Get ready to be inspired, improve your English, and start your own journey of greatness. Bill Gates, the birth of a vision. Introduction. There are people who walk the earth, and then there are people who change it. They are the ones who look at the world, not as it is, but as it could be. This is the story of a dreamer, a boy who saw something invisible to everyone else. He saw a future where every single desk, every home, and every hand held a simple machine. A machine that could think, teach, and connect. His name is Bill Gates. He is not just a billionaire. He is not just a philanthropist, he is the architect of the digital age. He gave the world the key to unlock its own potential. He taught us that a passion, if pursued with absolute belief, can rewrite the rules of reality itself. His journey began not with money, but with a question. What if? Quote, at age 13, he wrote his first computer program, a simple tic-tac-toe game that could play against a human. By 1973, he enrolled at Harvard University. Yet his curiosity about computers grew faster than his interest in classes. He spent hours coding and dreaming of a world where software could make life easier, faster, and better for everyone. That was the seed of the empire that would become Microsoft. Early life and the seeds of code. William Henry Gates III was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington. His family was comfortable, but they were not ordinary. His father, Bill Gates Sr., was a successful, tall, and gentle lawyer. His mother, Mary Maxwell Gates, was a strong-willed teacher and businesswoman. They believed in competition. They believed in winning. But they also believed in giving back. Young Bill was a very, very curious child. He was quiet. He loved to read. He would often disappear for hours, simply lost in books. He searched through encyclopedias like they were treasure maps. When Bill was a student at the Lakeside School, everything changed. It was there, in 1968, that the school bought a teletype machine. It was big, it was loud, it was slow. But for Bill, it was magic. It was the first time he touched a computer. It wasn't just a toy, it was a door. He saw the cold, hard logic of the machine. And he felt a thrill. He felt a connection. He didn't see wires and metal. He saw logic and possibility. He didn't see lines of text. He saw the future being born. He spent countless hours there. Late at night, through the weekends, he was obsessed. He was lost in the world of code. He was so driven that he and his friends, including Paul Allen, often broke the rules, sneaking into labs just to get more time with the machine. His parents worried. They saw their brilliant son ignoring social life, ignoring everything but the screen. They wondered, is this healthy? But Bill wasn't being rebellious. He was simply being himself. He was following the call of his deepest passion. Turning points. The Intel chip. Every great story has a moment where the path is chosen forever. For Bill, it wasn't just one moment, but a decision born from a powerful realization. The Crossroads of Harvard. In 1973, Bill Gates went to Harvard University. He was supposed to become a lawyer, following his father's footsteps. He took hard classes. He played poker. He was brilliant. But his heart was not in the law books. His heart was in the computer lab. He saw the PDP-10 computer for the first time. He stayed up all night, coding. He forgot to eat. He forgot to sleep. He typed and typed, learning, exploring, dreaming. The biggest turning point came in December 1974. Bill and Paul Allen were walking across the Harvard Square campus. It was a cold winter day. Suddenly, Paul Allen saw a magazine in a newsstand window. Popular Electronics. On the cover was a small computer, the Altair 8800. It was the first microcomputer people could buy and build at home. It ran on the new Intel 8080 chip. Small but powerful. Paul Allen shouted, "It's happening. The computer revolution is starting without us." Quote. Bill looked at the magazine. He didn't see a toy. He saw an empty space, an empty slot for software. He saw the future clearly. This little box needed a brain. It needed a simple programming language. It needed someone to make it useful for ordinary people. Right there, on that cold street, Bill knew his destiny. He realized he could shape the world, one line of code at a time. He saw not a machine, but a tool to change lives. He saw opportunity. He saw responsibility. He saw the future and he knew he had to build it. That day, the dream of Microsoft was born. A dream to bring computers into homes, schools, and offices. A dream to make technology simple, useful, and powerful for everyone. The bold phone call. Bill dropped everything. He didn't have the computer. He didn't have the money. He didn't even have the code ready. But he made a phone call to the company that made the Altair MITs. He lied. He told them, "We have developed a version of the basic programming language that will work perfectly on your Altair 8800. MITs was excited. They said, "Come in and show us." Quote. Bill had about 8 weeks. He didn't sleep. He and Paul Allen worked day and night in the Harvard dorm room, writing the code for Altair Basic. They were building the software on a computer that didn't exist yet, using a machine that was too slow. It was an incredible gamble. It was a desperate race against time. In February 1975, Paul Allen flew to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to demonstrate the code. He sat down, typed in the program, and held his breath. The machine worked. The code worked. It was a miracle of passion and belief. That moment, the moment the BASIC program first ran on the Altair, was the true birth of Microsoft. Bill Gates was just 19 years old. He left Harvard shortly after and never looked back. He gave up the safe path. He walked away from the prestigious school. He chose the uncertain, terrifying, glorious future of code, the first big failure and the battle for control. The road was not smooth. The dream was big, but the challenges were bigger. The letter to the hobbyists. Their first big challenge was simple: stealing. After they licensed Altair Basic, people started sharing the code for free. They believed that software should be free for everyone. Bill Gates saw this not as sharing, but as a theft of time, effort, and future innovation. In 1976, he wrote an open letter to hobbyists. It was a powerful, angry letter published in the computer magazines. He argued that if people kept stealing their software, Nobody would have the money or motivation to create new and better programs. He was fighting for the idea that software is valuable and should be protected. The letter made him unpopular. People called him greedy. They said he was trying to ruin the sharing culture of computing. But Bill was not afraid to stand alone. He was fighting for a principle. The creators must be rewarded. Without that reward, the entire industry, the very future he dreamed of, would collapse. This battle against piracy was the first major struggle for the young Microsoft. It was a failure to control their own product. But it taught Bill a lifelong lesson. Protect your creation. The first loss. In the early years, the company faced numerous setbacks. There were bugs in the code. There were missed deadlines. They had to fight other companies for contracts. There was one moment when they released a product that simply didn't work as expected. Bill had pushed the team too hard. Too fast. The product failed in the market. He felt the sting of failure deeply. He felt responsible for every person on his team. But he didn't hide. He didn't blame others. He took the broken code. He and his team rebuilt it. And they launched something better. He learned that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a necessary step towards success. You search in the dust, you search in the stones. You find the mistake. And you stand up again. This dedication, this refusal to accept defeat, is what separated Bill Gates from every other brilliant mind of his time. He didn't just want to code. He wanted to win the future. Philosophy and teachings. The power of focus. Bill Gates was not just a great coder. He was a great thinker. His philosophy was simple and powerful. The world changes fast. And only the focused will succeed. His most important idea was leverage. He often said, "The first rule of any technology used in a business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will make it even better. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will make it fail faster." In simple words, if you are doing something well, technology makes it even stronger. If you are doing it badly, technology makes failure faster. He also believed in the power of reading. For Bill, reading was not a hobby. It was a superpower. He reads about 50 books every year. About science, history, and business. He taught us, never stop learning. Your competition is learning while you are sleeping. Some of his famous quotes teach simple but deep lessons. Success is a lousy teacher. It makes smart people think they cannot fail. Stay humble. I choose a lazy person to do a hard job. A lazy person will find an easy way to do it. Work smart, not just hard. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. Listen carefully to criticism. Bill Gates showed that focus is like money. If you cannot give your full attention to the most important thing, someone else will win. He also believed in time management. Every hour mattered. He planned his day carefully. He believed that thinking deeply and working consistently on the right thing is what creates big results. He taught us one truth. Talent alone is not enough. Curiosity, learning, and focused action create success. And even the smartest people must keep learning, listening, and improving to stay ahead in a fast-changing world. Major achievements. A computer on every desk. In 1980, a moment came that changed history forever. IBM, the biggest computer company in the world, came to Microsoft. They were building their first personal computer, IBM PC, and needed an operating system, OS, the brain that makes the computer run. Bill Gates, just 25 years old, met with the giants of IBM. They asked him for an OS. He didn't have one ready, but he knew where to get it. He bought a small OS called QDOS from a tiny company, modified it, and licensed it to IBM as MS-DOS. Here is where the magic happened. Bill made two smart decisions that changed everything. Non-exclusive license. IBM wanted to buy the software outright, paying only once. Gates refused. He insisted on a deal where Microsoft would earn money for every copy sold. The master stroke. He kept the right to sell MS-DOS to other computer makers. When companies like Compaq and Dell started making IBM clones, they all had to use Microsoft's OS. Every computer needed the Microsoft brain. MS-DOS was soon replaced by Windows. Launched in 1985. Windows replaced typing complicated commands with simple icons and a mouse. It made computers easy to use, friendly, and fun. But the biggest achievement was not the software itself. It was the vision. Bill Gates made computers part of everyday life. He made Windows the global standard. He made it possible for millions of people to have a computer at home, at school, and at work. He turned a simple idea, a computer for everyone, into reality. He didn't just build software. He built a world where technology could empower, connect, and educate every person. Inspirational short stories. The life of a legend is built on moments of intense focus and bold action. Here are two true stories that show the heart and mind of Bill Gates. Incident 1. The code test of loyalty. In the early days, Bill Gates was the ultimate micromanager and a perfectionist. He wanted every single line of code to be perfect. Once, Microsoft was working on a huge, important software project. Bill reviewed the code. He saw a small error, a single misplaced character in thousands of lines. He called the entire team into his office. Late at night, he did not yell. He did not scream. He sat quietly at the terminal and typed in the correction. Then he looked at his programmers and said, "This bug was tiny, but if I can find it, it means I am spending more time checking your work than you are spending writing it." The programmers understood. This was not a criticism. It was a challenge. It taught the team to take 100% ownership of their work. It was a lesson in accountability that built a culture of excellence. Incident 2. The Sleep Challenge. In the 1970s, after dropping out of Harvard, Bill and Paul Allen worked with an intensity few people can imagine. Their lives were only about code. Bill Gates had a famous habit. He never believed in taking a day off. One time, while working on a critical deadline, Bill decided to see how long he could work without sleep. He drank countless bottles of Coca-Cola and worked straight for 3 days. When he finally collapsed from exhaustion, Paul Allen had to physically carry him out of the office to a sofa. When Bill woke up, the first thing he asked was, "Did the code compile?" Quote, "This story is not about encouraging sleeplessness. It is about the fire of passion." It shows that for Bill Gates, his work was not a job. It was a mission. He was willing to sacrifice comfort, sleep, and health for the sake of the dream he carried inside. It teaches us, if your dream is big enough, the sacrifice won't feel like a cost. What legends said about him. The true measure of a legend is not the money they make, but the respect they earn from their equals. Bill Gates, the technology titan, has been praised not just for the wealth he created, but for the wisdom with which he gave it away. Warren Buffett, investment guru and friend. Bill and Melinda are doing the heavy lifting. They have set a gold standard for philanthropy. Their ambition is not about getting money, but about saving the greatest number of lives. This shows that his shift from profit to purpose is highly valued. Barack Obama, former US President. Bill Gates took the genius and the relentless focus he brought to Microsoft and applied it to global health and development. He has saved millions of lives from malaria, polio, and measles. He is living proof of what one person can do to change the world. Steve Jobs, Apple co-founder. His greatest competitor. Despite their fierce rivalry, Jobs admitted, "I admire him for the work he did and the company he built. And I admire him for the way he and Melinda have stepped up on the philanthropic front. He is really smart. And he's a good man." This rare praise from his biggest competitor speaks volumes about Bill's character, legacy, and impact. Bill Gates made a decision that very few billionaires ever make. He chose to leave his day job at Microsoft to focus entirely on helping the world. In 2008, he retired from daily operations at Microsoft. And in 2020, he stepped down from the board completely. His new mission was clear: to solve the world's biggest, toughest problems. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, BMGF, became the most powerful and influential charity in history. Bill and Melinda took the same focus, planning, and efficiency they used to build Microsoft and applied it to global health and human development. Their work is not measured in software or money, but in lives saved. 1. Polio eradication. They worked to finish the fight against polio and aim to completely eliminate it. 2. Malaria and HIV. They invested billions in research, prevention, and treatment, saving millions of lives. 3. Sanitation and clean water. They fund technology to provide clean water and proper sanitation to the poorest communities. Bill Gates taught the world an important lesson. Wealth is not just for comfort. It is a responsibility. He showed that solving the world's hardest problems does not bring profit. It brings progress for all humanity. Beyond health, his foundation supports education, agriculture, and scientific innovation. Millions of children now go to school with books and technology that they would never have had before. Farmers get new tools to grow food, and scientists get funding to find solutions to challenges no one else wants to face. His message is simple and powerful. Go where the need is greatest. Help where you can make the biggest difference. And use your skills and resources to change lives. Emotional and poetic narration. Imagine a young boy sitting in a dimly lit lab, typing code. He is alone. He is obsessed. That small boy, with his quiet obsession, held the entire world in his hands. He built an empire with just logic and passion. He faced the giants of industry with boldness and belief. The biggest battle was not against Apple or Google. The biggest battle was against his own success. He could have stayed comfortable. He could have just managed his empire. But he saw the faces of children dying from preventable diseases. He heard the quiet cry of the world's most forgotten people. He saw a bug in the world's code inequality and he decided to fix it. He sold the stock. He signed the pledge. He traded the keyboard for the clinic. He traded the corporate meeting for the village well. His life is a story told in two parts. The age of Microsoft. And the age of compassion? And in the end? It is the compassion that shines the brightest. He showed us that the greatest ambition is not to conquer the market, but to conquer human suffering. Life conclusion. So, what is the biggest lesson from the life of Bill Gates? It is the lesson of vision and change. He showed us that even a simple tool, a computer, a line of software can change how 7 billion people work, learn, and dream. He taught us that focus is the engine of progress. and responsibility is the fuel that keeps it moving. But most importantly, he showed us that every great journey begins with a risk, like leaving Harvard, and ends with a responsibility, like giving away a huge fortune to help others. His life is like a simple equation. Passion plus focus equals great success. Great success plus compassion equals timeless legacy. Today, as you sit in front of your own computer or phone, remember the boy who found magic in a screen. Remember that the power to change the world is not in money, but in the size of your dream and the strength of your heart. He stayed curious. He worked hard. He never gave up. He used his knowledge to help millions. Go ahead. Dream big. Work tirelessly. Learn constantly. And give back. That is the true story and the legend of Bill Gates. And that was the story of Bill Gates. A boy who dreamed big, worked tirelessly, and changed the world. Remember, it is not money or fame that makes a person great. It is courage, focus, and the heart to help others. Let his life inspire you to dream bigger, work harder, and never give up, no matter the obstacles. Keep learning, keep listening, and keep growing. Your journey can also change the world. Thank you for watching the Legends in English. Stay inspired, improve your English, and keep chasing your dreams.